Hello everyone, and welcome to the second series of today. As I just realized, Bunker Funtime has an extra R in their name. Let's just fix that. The map bans have already come out. We did see Sky Foundry and Cursed Hollow banned by Bork Side of the Moon, and Battlefield of Eternity and Towers of Doom banned by Bunker Funtime. Now, in terms of playoff implications, this is a very important game. There's not many games left for Division B right now, and Top 8 does go to playoffs. But these are the two bottom teams. But right now the points are very close in their group. They're very close in their division. 8th place is currently at 12 points. Bork Side of the Moon is at 10. So really, one win, one domination especially, can really push them over in order to get into those playoffs. And Bunker Funtime, they're at 7 points. Definitely a lot more dire for them, but they are still inside of... they are still able to get into the final few spots. So this is a very important game. Both sides definitely would want to get a 2-0 today, especially if they're hoping to make that playoff run. But I think this is going to be a fun game to watch anyway. Both sides have a lot riding on this, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they go with it. The first map picked up, as you can see, was Infernal Shrines, and that was picked by Bork Side of the Moon. So first pick will go over to Bunker Funtime. And yeah, we should be getting into game shortly, and hopefully from there we'll be able to see just what these two teams have to offer. Now, I haven't casted either of these two teams. I don't know them. I don't know how they play. I don't know their styles. So it's always going to be fun watching them play and slowly discovering it all together. NGS is a very large community, so there are a lot of names, a lot of players that I do need to slowly learn about. And I'm excited to, well, see how everyone grows, see how everyone likes to play. There's so much variety in the game of Heroes of the Storm, and especially in a league like NGS where there's so many different divisions across all different levels of play. And being able to watch just how well some of these teams can play, just how creative some of these teams get with their picks, it's always a ton of fun. Now, we are just waiting on one more team to be ready, just waiting for the hosts. And once that game does get started, so we should be heading into draft very soon. And I guess what I kind of want to see this game, so it will be selfish of me to say this. I'm not really looking for anyone. I'm not looking for super standard strategies. I want to see something crazy. It's the end of the season, and while both of these two teams are in playoff contention, it is possible these teams don't really care too much about the playoffs. They just play for the community, which I totally understand. That's how I used to play back when I was in NGS. But I really hope if they are doing something like that, that they get into something like the Cho'Gall, something very unique, as we are getting into draft number 1.
Infernal Shrines.
That's kind of my motto. If you're not playing to be the number 1, you can at least play to be entertaining and just to have fun. At the end of the day, this is still a game. This is something, it's a game we all enjoy, and being able to have fun during these games matters so much for both of these teams and for every team, I think. But yeah, first ban is going to be starting to get brought up right now by Zednem. So what I expect to see banned, like I said, I don't know these two teams really well. So most likely I'll just be calling the standard bans, the Joannas, Stukovs, maybe Hanzo Junkrat, depending if either of these two teams play it. Just the standard strong pick. Sylvanas also a very strong pick. And yeah, we do in fact see the Stukov ban. Now the second ban is always going to be so, and we do see the Samuro ban almost instantly by the side of Bork's Side of the Moon. And I'm wondering who that's going to be targeted towards. Because Samuro is a very strong character overall, very strong in the offlane. And in Infernal Shrines is also able to clear out those skeletons very quickly with the Whirlwind Blade. So a pretty solid ban, especially if they know that someone on the side of Bunker Funtime does enjoy playing that Samuro. And the second ban will be the Joanna, so literally the first two bans I called out as we got into draft, the Stukov and the Joanna, both going to be removed from play. The Bork Side of the Moon, taking a little bit more time with this ban. Last ban they insta-locked it, but not much longer, and they do ban the Diablo. So banning out the Diablo in general, I don't think is ever really picked as a counter to anything. So it doesn't really open up too much for the draft. But Batista will lock in that Vala. And Vala, as we all know, very strong character, is going to be getting nerfed in this new patch that is currently on the PTR. So that may well shake up the meta. I'm really excited to see how much different the game is going to be on that new patch. But again, Vala able to go through a lot of different builds, Hungering Arrows. For a map like Infernal Shrines, it might even be worth to go the multi-shot if you want to just clear those skeletons very fast. Sonya and Brightwing picked up right now from Bork's Side of the Moon. And Brightwing will bring in that global presence, and especially with a character like Sonya. Sonya loves to be aggressive. Sonya is a fighter. So being able to have a Brightwing on top of you if you need it during a fight, just to be able to push that 1v1 even more in your favor, get that extra heal from the phase shift, and then the polymorph and all that. It could definitely be a game-changing pick, depending on whether or not Smoke is going to be able to really utilize it, or if the position to utilize it even ends up appearing. And then we see Mei and Rhaegar picked up by Bunker Funtime. So their core is kind of mostly picked. They have the DPS in Vala, the tank in Mei, the healer in Rhaegar. So from this, they could really go anywhere. They could go double bruiser, they could go double healer, 3 more DPS, or 2 more DPS. The world's their oyster. Most likely they will pick either a mage style DPS, like not an auto attacker, but a caster. And then bruiser to go into the offlane to match Smoke. Now, the Dahaka is going to get banned out by Bork's Side of the Moon. Strong character overall. Also has the global, so they are going to prevent kind of the magic of the global. Falstad is still available for Bunker Funtime. Another really commonly picked character just for that global presence. And Anubarak will be banned last. And with the Anubarak banned, it does open up a little bit in terms of what they could be picking. And also opens up the build path potentially for Batista. As we see the Varian, so... And the Kerrigan. Okay, I wanted to see something spicy for this series, and it definitely looks like they're going to deliver on the side of Bork's Side of the Moon. Now, Varian, almost definitely going to be the tank here. And when you play Varian as the tank, you're going to go that taunt build. And the entire purpose of Varian, you pick Varian to blow up one member of the enemy team. And with damage dealers like Sonya and Kerrigan, they will definitely be able to blow up whoever gets caught. Except potentially the Deathwing. Okay, let's go. We have all of the interesting picks. KT, well, Kalthas, I should say, because Kel'Thuzad is also KT. Picked up for Bunker Funtime, and the Deathwing picked up for Illumini Bree. And Deathwing, I think, is always such a good pick into a Varian. Should be pretty even with the Sonya and lane. In fact, I could even see Smoke being able to bully out Illumini Bree. However, once the teamfights do start coming into play, that Deathwing is really going to be a problem. They don't have any really style of character that's able to deal a lot of damage to the Deathwing and kind of take the Deathwing out of the fights. Greymane was a good final pick. They needed that little bit of range because right now everyone is melee except for the Brightwing. Overall, I think I do favor the draft of Bunker Funtime just a little bit, but definitely could be anyone's game. But as we get into game number 1. Okay, and we're still finishing uploading over in towards game number 1. And so I will take this time to kind of talk about the draft more, the strengths, the weaknesses. To be completely honest, Bunker Funtime doesn't really have a ton of weaknesses. One issue they do have is it's a little bit hard for them to hard engage onto someone. If they go the May Ice Wall, that'll really be their only engage. And they do have follow from the Vala's Reign of Vengeance and all that.
Prepare yourselves for battle, heroes.
But I do think it's going to be hard for them to start fights. But on the reverse side of this, Bork side of the moon does not struggle to start fights at all. They have the Varian taunt, they have the pull from Kerrigan, and they have Sonya. Most likely will go Leap. I expect to see Leap, though it is possible Smoke does go with that other ultimate. And that's really what it's going to be. If Bork side of the moon are able to blow someone up... Ooh, as I just realized, I have the wrong division up. West. Perfect. But just in time, as both sides are going to be grouping towards mid lane. So Shadra gonna try to do a little bit of poke, but they're not even gonna bother grouping up with this mid lane push, as you typically see most teams doing. Bacon already running over to the bot side, and Cutie Puppy and Shadra kind of positioning in a way to interrupt anyone that's trying to come close. Smoke already shoving out that top side, and now James will get down to the bot side. Nothing really to collect. They were able to clear it so fast that they didn't even lose any of their own minions. And now they're just going to be going around between the bot and the mid lane, kind of pushing out the waves, soaking up the XP. And that's kind of where you expect to see Varian start thriving. Once he hits level 4 anyway. Is in these transitionary plays. Going between the two lanes, that's where Varian thrives. That's where you can find someone getting caught out on their own. But anyway, Bacon and Silver Spy do get onto their siege camp. We see the same thing being matched over on this right side by Bunker Funtime. Both sides will collect their siege camp. I see a little bit of trading topside, and Smoke definitely on the worst end of that. I may have underestimated the damage a Deathwing can bring out in lane. Now, Shadra is looking to the siege camp. Neither side really getting started yet. They definitely have numbers for Bunker Funtime, but neither side's going to really end up doing anything here. Just going to posture with no real pressure. Cutie Puppy will get hit by the KT. And Smoke just trying to trade as much as possible. Did get the first little bit of HP done. And now the level 4s do come out. And that's where the taunt comes out. Shadra instantly gets a lot more HP. And now Bork side of the moon can start playing aggressively. That's definitely the biggest weakness Varian has, especially early on. Varian is not a character until level 4. Unless you're playing him in the off lane. Still looking for a target. Does get the taunt. Cleanse will be used. Same with the ice block. And Zedna will be okay. And just a little bit of fire damage done over on this side. And in the meanwhile, we see Smoke and Alumni Bree, or Illumini Bree. Still a lot of damage going on back and forth. But no one's really going to be dying quite yet. And now we do see the shrine is starting to start up in this top side. But the bot side is already shoved in by Bunker Funtime as they start their transitionary play. Shadra trying to kind of stay alive down here. They will be a little bit late going to this top side. And it looks like they're okay with that. Taking a shrine does take some time. Oops, sorry. So they won't be able to claim the Punisher right away. But Zednam is watching them take the siege camp. We'll try to steal it potentially with the Blizzard. But I think that's a little bit of an aggressive play. But it has the support. Batista's here already. Same with Dicello. All of them are trying to fight for the siege camp. And you know what? They are going to be able to bully them away. And Jamie even gets a lot more damage over on the Shadra. But it's 2-on-1 at the top side, so in the meanwhile, Smoke and Bacon are able to start onto these skeletons. A little bit of fighting going on in the mid lane. Taunt thrown onto the Mei. Mei is going to be okay with that. Zednam's going to not really take any damage at all off of that. And now they're just going to keep pressuring this bot side, but I think you're okay with that if you're Bork side of the moon. I'm questioning a little bit these aggressive plays. I don't think they're going for the kills. I think they're just trying to keep them away from this top side. But they are down a talent here, so it is a little bit scary. Batista trying to chase will take a little bit of damage in the backside during that. But Bacon and Smoke, they're almost finished with this objective. Level 7 now going to be hit by Bork side of the moon, so the talents are back up. And Smoke just needs one more. Will be able to get it? Yes, Smoke will be able to finish it off. They do have the Dragon Light going through. Smoke is going to get stunned. Phase Shift coming out, but not enough time. First Blood going to go over to the side of Bunker Funtime, but they still got the objective. They still got the Punisher, and the Punisher is going to deal a decent amount of damage over to these walls. They're not pressuring with it, but what they are doing is they're pressuring this bot side. They're shoving in this mid wave, and they're just utilizing the Punisher not to push the wave there, but to push the waves in other lanes. Kind of utilize that global pressure that you get from this objective. And they're going to be able to take this entire bot side wall, and just with that, it was definitely worth it for them. However, Bunker Funtime now wants to try answering this pressure with the top lane wall. And they are pushing an S4, but the fort is now also going to be taken by Bork side of the moon. Alumini Brie is going to be here for the defense. It's unstoppable, so there's really no way for them to prevent this. A lot of DPS being done over towards this tower. Cutie Puppy going to be phase shifted on top of a Silver Spine. They're trying to bring it down, but there's no more minions left. Just a little bit more DPS, and they will get the fort. But that fort is just going to be traded over on the top side by Bunker Funtime, and macro win towards Bork side of the moon for now. But there is a siege camp to steal for Bork side of the moon, and no contest. They're just going to be able to steal it right away. Bunker Funtime is going to start on their own Bruiser camp, but that is the one on their side. The Bruiser camp was taken earlier by Bork side of the moon. Still half a level advantage for Bunker Funtime after everything's been said and done. But overall map pressure should be pretty even. There is a little bit of a push mid. 2 siege camps trying to kind of hit over the wall. And that cannon tower will go down. Level 10 has been hit by Bunker Funtime, but the level 10 is sure to follow soon for Bork side of the moon. Just need a little bit more. Alumni Brie gonna get spotted, but will be spotted by jumping on a Cutie Puppy. Level 10s are now hit. Cutie Puppy trying to run away. Phase Shift coming out, will be okay. The Brightwing is able to get there and heal us very quickly. Now Molten Flame going to be used to clear out all of this away. And the neutral camp is going to be taken down. And Cutie Puppy taking a lot of DPS. Snowball not going to land, but the stuns are going to land. And all the damage just on top is going to get another kill for Bunker Funtime. And they're going to be able to kill that Grey Main. And with the Grey Main dead, they don't really have a lot of damage. They're not going to be able to push against this. Smoke is going to try and get something back, shoving out at the top side. But there's not really enough time to get too much. So at the end of the day, it's just going to be the one pick and finishing off this bot side wall. They will lose a decent amount of minions over on this top side and maybe even lose this wave. But never mind, Alumni Brie able to descend down to clear those minions. Dicello, Zednam, and really the whole core of Bunker Funtime are here already. The taunt lands onto Dicello, but no follow-up until the leap comes down from behind from Smoke, and Smoke is able to jump onto 2 of them, gets 2 kills already. Smoke's dead. And they're able to get the stun by Illuminating Brie, and the Molten Flames dealing so much damage. But still, that's 2 kills for Bork side of the moon. Shrine is spawning in 5 seconds, and they're already grouping together to get on top of it. A very good flank by Smoke. The value leap. Able to start the fight, and that's what they need to do on Bork side of the moon. I think in a straight team fight, most of the time they will lose. They need that initial engage to go their way. And that time it did. Alumini Brie just trying to clear as many of these skeletons as possible. Try to, first of all, to delay Bork side of the moon and also keep the push close. As Polymorph comes out, same with the taunt. Shadra taking a little bit of damage. And just as we have a little bit of a second, it is the multi-shot talent from Batista. Cursed Bullet does go wide. And Alumini Brie just going to fly all over this objective. A skeleton race still in the favor of Bork side of the moon. Phase shift having to be used for Cutie Puppy. Cutie Puppy invisible, and the snowball is going to get 2. Just they try to start the fight, but a 4-man leap. So much damage, but there's no follow-up. The snowball was able to push everyone away. And now Smoke and Silver Spy taking so much damage from this Kel'Thas. And they may have to give this up. They're going over, they're tapping, but they're already at 38, 39. They're going to get the taunt and the polymorph, and they are going to be able to blow up the Rhaegar. But so much damage once again from the Molten Flame. They're all so low HP. The kills were in their favor. They do have the Bruiser Camp shoving in top, but the jump is going to go onto Shadra, and Phase Shift is back up. So they're going to be able to heal up their team. They're trying to DPS this Mortar Punisher as fast as possible. But it does look like their bot side fort will go down. However, Dicello able to get the Cyclone just in time to prevent the taunt from Shadra. If that taunt landed, I think he dies there. Smoke trying to steal this, but not really in a position to do so. And Zednam goes in, zoning away Smoke. But at the end of the day, they will just be able to secure their own siege camp. And everyone's going to group back into their own lanes. The Punisher is still able to take down this entire bot side wall. And in fact, the minions will be able to finish this. And now Bunker Funtime is going to be stealing that siege camp as well. So they were able to get so much value out of the team fight and then the Frozen Punisher wave to begin with. Or sorry, the Mortar Punisher. Now Cutie Puppy dealing as much damage as possible to Alamini Bree. And that is a lot of damage by Cutie Puppy. Gonna continue chasing. Will not go for the kill. So another siege camp will go towards Bunker Funtime. The XP lead is on the side of Bork side of the moon. There should be a lot of XP for them to catch. And Shadra sees Batista. Rain of Vengeance on top. Will be protected. Has a lot of HP. Gets the cleanse though. That's 2 ultimates used to try and kill Shadra, and they do not even get half of that HP. No ultimates used on the side of Bork side of the moon, so they are at an advantage in terms of cooldowns, just for a little bit. Cutie Puppy doing a little bit of poke damage, coming off to the side. Smoke is shoving the top wave. But in the meanwhile, the fighting is happening towards mid. Shadra gets the taunt and the polymorph, and just a lot of stuns. The Ancestor healing coming out. Zednam is back at full HP, but Jamie also at half HP. Cursed Bullet dealing so much damage by Cutie Puppy. They're not going to be able to get anything else out of this. They do get the Hungering Arrow onto Shadra, and they're looking to commit, but Smoke getting ready, and the leap onto 3. Once again, Smoke with so many incredible leaps. Snowball throwing back into their base, and Rain of Vengeance on top. Kerrigan going to be able to run away. Smoke going to get taken down in the bot side, and that Snowball able to trade back too. So what started off as a really strong play for Bork side of the moon ends up being a victory for Bunker Funtime. The fight is still going on for a little bit, but I don't expect there to be too much of a play happening. Jamie takes a decent bit of damage from the cannon tower, but will be okay. Able to heal up. And in the meanwhile, the siege camp is, well, doing as the name implies, sieging down this bot lane. And they've gotten a decent amount of damage onto this keep. About 1/3 of it has gone down, as the Bruiser camp is now being taken by Bunker Funtime. Both teams are now level 16. And they're still really, really even in terms of XP. The levels are pretty even across both teams. And I'm really curious how the game's going to change once Smoke hits level 20. I think this game, the talent to get the walls around the leap would be insane. Smoke has consistently gone in 3 or 4 man leaps. And being able to keep them in that would be a win. And Silver Spy getting picked off by Batista in the backline. And Sharon trying to deal as much damage as possible, but Dicello able to zone away with the Phoenix. And they're also going to be able to steal this Bruiser camp as well. And that's the Fawn Shaman going down. And their lead is slowly but surely growing, just able to kind of suffocate them on the map. Bork side of the moon was supposed to be the pick comp, but they're constantly getting picked off by Bunker Funtime, who's always in the right place at the right time. Now they are grouping as 5 to take down these skeletons. They want to get this Punisher. Arcane Punisher is what's available. And Phase Shift is up, so Brightwing, as soon as he spawns, will be able to get into the fight. And Shada gonna have to use the protection. Gets Cyclone. Phase Shift coming in. just barely going to be enough in time. But Silver Spy taking so much damage, and Rain of Vengeance, also on Shader. So much healing trying to come out, but it's not enough. Shader will get blown up. Now Jamie also getting run down by Ogby, but it's still 2 down. Ancestor healing, and Jamie is back to full HP. Element tries to get killed, and the leap will not land as Smoke dies mid-jump. 3-0 for Bunker Funtime. And they're going to be able to get this Punisher. And just so many team fights going the way of Bunker Funtime. They're able to position so well in these fights. They're able to prevent that engage coming out from the variant. And if the variant isn't able to get a taunt on a key target, they're not able to follow up as well as they would like. Now the Arcane Punisher not going to be pushed in. They're going to utilize the same strategy the Bork Side of the Moon used for the first Punisher. They're going to take these camps, and then I believe they're going to try and push down this bot lane. But now it looks like they are deciding to play it a bit safe. They're just going to go for this mid lane. This fort should be pretty free. There's no way they'll be able to contest it with a Punisher on top of their base. The Punisher should be able to get most, if not all, of this wall. No, the cannon tower is going to be okay. In fact, not a lot of damage done by the Punisher himself. However, they were able to utilize the pressure to steal away a siege camp and take this mid lane fort. So now 2 out of 3 lanes have a naturalized push for Bunker Funtime. And they're just going to use that lead and use that natural pressure to kind of try and suffocate them out of this game. And they've been playing really well with this. They know that they're into a pick comp. All they have to do, stay clumped together, just move around the map well. And if they can't get someone caught out on their own, they're not able to win this team fight. And we know Smokes has a very strong teamfight ability and leap, but they just do not have enough follow-up damage to be able to kill that. Siege Camp is going to start grouping mid. Dicello and Batista also looking, not going to throw out any abilities quite yet. And we do have a cannon minion over in the top side, shoving just a little bit. But Shader actually tries to get the taunt, but goes on to Zednim, not the target you want, and going to get knocked away by the Blizzard, and Shadra going to take a lot of damage. Able to get the Rain of Vengeance stun onto Shadra, and once again taken down super low, just trying to jump onto this May. And there is no way you're going to be able to take that as your target. Cutie Puppy, just trying to auto attack as much as possible, and the Blizzard does come out by Zednim with the icing. Not able to really collect on any play. They are level 20 right now in Bunker Funtime, so they do have an advantage here. Their Storm Talents are available. This is a very strong time for them. They do get the taunt over onto Jame, but Jame will run away. Bacon not going to land the stun either. And just a little bit of poke back and forth. And the longer Bork Side of the Moon can delay this, the better it is for them. Once they hit their level 20, the advantage is gone, and the advantage is gone for the rest of the game. They are down a few structures, but it's just a couple forts. It's nothing that they really need to concern themselves with for too long. The Rain of Vengeance will land on the Smoke, and now the Blizzard also throwing Smoke down, forced to use the leap. But in the meanwhile, the variant is starting to the backside. Phase Shift also going to come in from Shadra, but now Silver Spy has to phase shift away. And they'll be okay for now. Shadra is still taking a lot of damage. Alumini Bree able to take out so much damage. A little bit of poke. But in the meanwhile, in the backline, Cutie Puppy able to get a kill onto Jame. And is now going to back away. They got the 1 for 0. They got their level 20s, most importantly. Not only were they able to defend this mid fort, or sorry, this mid keep, they were able to get their level 20s and get a kill back. And Jame is dead for 45 more seconds. They're not going to be able to get back to this fight anytime soon. And now they're grouping together on Bork's Side of the Moon. They're going to be taking over the siege camp. And this has been a very close game so far. Bunker Funtime definitely in control for most of this game. But the shrine is starting to be taken down. It will take a decent amount of time to be able to kill all 40 skeletons. But Jame will not be here in time. They should be able to kill all 40. If Alumini Bree is able to kind of get in the way for this, able to take away some skeletons on their own, they may be able to still defend against this, but doesn't look like they even really want to. They're just using this to try and save time for themselves, as the Bruiser Camp is going to get finished off on this top side, and that's going to be a double Bruiser Camp pushing onto Smoke. Smoke already trying to just group up in the back and take it down. Is a little bit worried about possible pressure, but there will not be any pressure to be 4v5 pushing it onto this boss side of the map. However, they are pushing 4v5 with the Frozen Punisher. And as the leap lands onto Illuminati, just going to be pushing them away, while the rest of the team is going to take down this bot side wall. Now, if they're able to take this keep, they will be able to finally have naturalized pressure in a lane. However, it is still 4v5. Cleanse forced to be used out onto Batista. And they're getting a little bit of a fight, and they're able to kill the KT. Snowball going to be utilized, but not going to be utilized soon enough. But now Illuminati trying to zone them away, and the Cursed Arrow deals so much damage with that percent health. Rain of Vengeance able to stun on the 2. Bacon and Shadra both going to try to walk away now, but they did get what they wanted. And they got even a little bit more. They got the keep, and they got the pick onto the Kelthus. And now the Siege Comp also going to get stolen away. Once again, both sides already hit level 20. Does not really matter who has those extra levels. Maybe those stats will make a difference, but typically execution matters way more than small little stat checks once we get this late in the game. And being able to get that natural push in the bot lane gives them so much room to breathe and so much room to kind of change how they want to play. The Siege Camp not going to be able to do anything, as the Molten Flame will just clear it all out. Illuminati able to deal so much damage. Stun will land off to the side. They are grouping pretty aggressively. Illuminati looking to kind of zone them away. They do know Smoke was on the top side, trying to clear that wave. And that is still kind of the issue. While they do have the naturalized push in the bot lane, mid and top still push in favor of Bunker Funtime, just due to the wave states and all of the buildings that are still up. But it looks like they don't even want to wait for their wave. They're just going to try shoving this down. Silver Spy going to take a decent amount of damage. They do throw the banner. The banner will tank for them. And just like that, top lane's evened up as well. The only lane that's going to be pushing into them now is mid. And mid is probably the worst lane to have an advantage in. It's still good, don't get me wrong. But mid, well, as the name implies, it's in the middle of the map. It is somewhere that is close by to every lane. They do not need to do any cross-map plays to be able to get to it in time and start shoving it away. The Siege Camp is up. Both teams starting to posture for it. Looks like they are trying to do a little bit of a play. Zednam going to get Polymorph. No other follow-up play. A bit of damage coming out with the Inflamed. Sorry, with the Molten Flame, but nothing gonna land. Zednam jumping in and does get taunted. Lots of damage actually going over onto Zednam. Phoenix does come out, but the Phoenix is actually zoning out really well. But Jamie gets left on, and their healer is gone. But do they have enough DPS? They're definitely going to be trying. Face Shift coming out for Smoke now. Silver Spy taking so much damage, should be able to live. They are able to kill the Kerrigan, but Smoke is still alive. Rain of Vengeance does miss. Smoke is on the wrong side of the map. Gonna try and spin to win. Hungering Arrow goes slightly off to the side. If Smoke can get to the team, or to those minions, just anything, but no. 2 for 2 after that bot lane engage. Now Cutie Puppy sees Batista. And Shada right here will go on to Batista. They will jump on J Cello in the back line in the meanwhile. So that's going to be 3 for 2 now. Illuminati still alive, still very healthy. Batista also going to try and push. But 3 for 2 at the end of the day, that's definitely in favor of Bork's side of the moon. They're able to fight it out, but how much can they get with this advantage? The respawn timers slightly favor Bunker Funtime, only for a few seconds though. Bork's side of the moon will be able to get onto the skeletons a lot sooner, and Batista will also be trying to get the siege camp at the bot side in the meanwhile. They will have the cannon creeps pushing forward every single wave for Bork's side of the moon, so they may be able to deal with it a little bit better than normal. However, it is still going to be a little bit rough for them. The skeletons are now spawned, able to steal one away with Illuminati. But they're still not on 40. Now every member is starting the group. Kelthas still hasn't respawned. But that is 4 for the side of Bork's side of the moon and Bunker Funtime. They get the taunt onto Zednam. And Zednam able to take so much damage and blows up before the Ancestry healing is able to get there. Now Illuminati kind of in the middle. Leap lands. And they're able to stuck Jamie in. But they're also able to land it in for Molten Flame to just absolutely blow them up. And in fact, their tank does go down. They were able to get the Punisher, but so many dead. But Cutie Puppy actually in the backline able to get the Vala. And now the Mortar Punisher, very good at pushing, very good at just dealing flat DPS. And they don't really have anyone that can tank the sleep. If this Punisher jumps onto Jaime or Dicello, they can definitely follow up and try to just blow them up. And if that happens, they could even push for the end. It is late in the game. This Punisher deals so much damage. And they could go for the end anyway. It's still 30 seconds. They are able to get the jump onto Jaime, but no follow-up. No one in range, unfortunately. Bacon will use that little bit of a cocoon to keep themselves healthy. And Bacon going to take so much down from Dicello. They decide, you know what? Let's not risk this. Zednam is spawning soon. We'll have Snowball, so let's just accept this loss. Or let's accept the game that we have and just go with it. Let's regroup and see what we can do after that. So that the Punisher is now dead, but they were able to get not only the mid lane fort, but the mid lane keep. So now this map pressure is on the side of Bork's side of the moon. A lot of damage being dealt onto this keep, but it only just got there. Smoke will be able to clear it out pretty quickly. Cannon's able to deal a lot of damage at this late into the game. 456 damage per auto. Siege Camp was picked up by Bork's side of the moon. They're going to try and get both. But at this point in the game, these Siege Camps don't matter too much. It's more of a something to do. Especially with a shrine not being up anytime soon. They will just be able to clear it out. And just kind of buys a little bit of time for them to really do other things. Now in the middle, Cutie Puppy will get on top of that Bruiser camp, as we see them clearing it out in the mid lane. But what I do want to talk about is the lane assignments that I expect to be going in through this next fight. The next shrine will be spawning over on that top side. And bot side does have the keep missing for Bunker Funtime. And we are seeing this a little bit right now. Siege Camp spawning in 15, and they're just getting ready for the Siege Camp. I don't think you need all 5 here. Your top lane is pushing in, and they are starting to leave now. They see that there's a big grouping happening in the mid lane for Bork's side of the moon. But I definitely do want someone down here to help push out this lane just a little bit before the shrine spawns. Because this late into the game, the cannons and everything else deals a lot of damage. And both teams are now grouping together, but Bunker Funtime's on the wrong side of the map. They're not going to be able to really get too much out of this. They're going to lose their entire top side of the wall. All 5 have now harped back. So they will be here to defend the keep. But their wall will be gone. However, this Siege Camp is definitely going to have push priority over in the spot lane. And with that push priority, the keep does not have a lot of HP. So they could very well be able to take that down. Just in map pressure. And there's no globals on Bork's side of the moon. However, they are playing a bush play. They do get spotted, but not everyone. Bacon gonna be thrown in the back, and the leap does land. They're on to Jaime. Lots of damage, though. Phoenix gonna be thrown into that cave, and Smoke is gonna go down. They do have the snowball thrown down. Both sides still a little bit low, but only 1 death so far, and that's Smoke. A lot of damage going, though. Cutie Puppy kiting back really well, able to get so much DPS as they're running back. Batista now trying to chase, but their core is also taking damage in the mid lane, and in fact has gone down to 87%. So Smoke still has 35 seconds left before the respawn timer does happen. But it's a weird timer. The shrine will be spawning here. They should be able to get this. But Shadra looks like they're grouping together bot, and I wonder if they're going to try to backdoor this. Do they have enough damage to backdoor this? Shadra might end up showing a little bit early. They will notice this now. The banner just comes in. Cutie Puppy trying to DPS. Trying to DPS as fast as possible. We see Dicello hearthing. They're all hearthing. All 5 members going to come back for the defense. And they were using that just to pull them away from the objective. Jaime and Zednam do cancel their reset. But it buys time. And now Smoke will be there in time before they hit the 40 skeletons. And they're both teams just going to run up there. And this is going to be the fight that most likely will decide the game. Now, who's going to be able to play it just a little bit better? Bacon does jump into Zednam. Snowball misses. Banner thrown down in the middle. A taunt landed. And so much damage done onto Zednam. And Zednam blows up. But they do have all that DPS. And now Illumini Bree is going to be stuck inside of that leap. Smoke also still alive. They are able to get the Arcane Punisher on the side of Bunker Funtime. But how much are they going to lose in the process? They actually don't lose that much at all. But Bacon on the backline able to kill 3. And now Jaime is still alive trying to run away. But it's just a Rhaegar. It's just a dog. Don't hurt him. But they decide, you know what? They're polite, actually. They're like, yeah, you're right. They heard me. They said, you know what, Jamie, you deserve to live here. And we may see something of a little bit of a base race with a Punisher pushing in, but I have no doubt that this is not an even base race. Silver Spy, Smoke, the entire team of Bork Side of the Moon should be able to clear this core, and they're able to win game number 1 in a very exciting fashion. And if this is a sign of things to come, this is going to be a very exciting series. So game number 1 does go over to Bork's Side of the Moon. And I still can't believe how that game ended up being played out. And Alumini Brie on the Deathwing, actually number 1 DPS this game. The Leap Cave. You know, I'm actually just going to look what it's called. The Crater. That's a good name for it. I'm not going to say Ariat Crater. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Ariat? I don't know. But that crater, while it did group the enemy, they do not have a lot of AoE damage. You know who does have a lot of AoE damage? Bunker Funtime. They have the Valorant of Vengeance, Kel'Thas with a Phoenix, all the AoE DPS that Dicello is able to bring out, and Aluminium Brie just breathing fire all over it. But anyway, that's game number 1 over, and shortly we'll go over to game number 2. But first, for the last time for today, I would like to thank AFK Journey for sponsoring my stream. Play for free now and start your adventure, and just installing the game helps me out a lot. If you choose not to play it, that's on you. But I do recommend everyone just give it a little whirl, see how it goes. But anyway, I'll see you shortly. Alright, and we are back for game number 2 between Bork Side of the Moon and Bunker Funtime. Now map number 2 was Alterac Pass, or I should say is Alterac Pass. So overall, I don't think it changes too much in terms of draft. One thing you can do is add a little bit more poke, as it is easier to kind of poke people off of the poke people off of the camps as it is to poke them off of the shrines. So characters like Hanzo, Junkrat might be just a little bit more worth it, but I don't expect to see any major draft changes, at least just due to the maps. Now Sonya is going to be the first man for Bunker Funtime, and I completely understand. Smoke was able to land 3-4-man leaps consistently during the entire game. Smoke definitely MVP of map number 1. As Samuro is going to be the other ban coming out. So still not going to let Bunker Funtime play, and I was wondering if that Samuro was just banned away because it was Infernal Shrines. Samuro is able to get a lot of pretty safe kills onto the skeleton. Onto the little count to get the Punisher spawned, but doesn't seem to be the case. They seem to just be worried about Alumini Bree playing that tomorrow. Now DC Joanna also going to be banned out by Bunker Funtime, and the Dahaka ban will answer that. So overall, pretty standard bans. There is the Smoke Respect ban with Asanya, but other than that, just overall strong characters getting removed. And Brightwing will be the first lock-in for Bunker Funtime. So their healer is already set. Brightwing very strong on this map. Like we said earlier, global abilities are always good. Jaime able to phase shift wherever need be. So now let's see what the answer is for Bork Side of the Moon. And since they have to pick 2 here, they will have to show their hand a little bit more. It is possible to just kind of pick pretty generic characters, like Vala is one of them. But Muradin, okay. So with Muradin, it does show a little bit more with that. And with the healer already picked, with Brightwing picked by Jaime, I am wondering if they're going to elect to ban the Anduin, just to prevent the Dwarf Toss Light Bomb combo. But first they're going to pick. So they're going to pick the Hanzo. And like I said, poke is very good on this map. Just kind of being able to delay the camp take. And Falstad, 2 globals already picked up by Bunker Funtime. And the question is going to be, how well are they going to be able to utilize these globals? Their straight DPS is going to be a little bit low. Both Hanzo and Falstad do still rely more or less on burst. Hanzo has a very low base attack speed, but does have a lot of spell damage. And the auto attack damage is very high, just low attack speed. So won't be able to have that damage coming out consistently. Diablo is going to be banned by Bork Side of the Moon, trying to prevent that super high HP tank this game. Vala is able to deal with it quite well, but Diablo is still strong. Just overall, the Shadow Charge and the Apocalypse or the Lightning Breath, both ultimates very strong on Diablo. So just getting rid of a really solid tank once again. Now, I kind of want them to ban something away from Smoke. However, I can't really think of a good ban for it. And yeah, they just go with the Stukov. Anduin is still available for the Light Bomb combo with Muradin. There is Rhaegar available as well as a good healer. And one thing I also want to note right now is they're very long range on Bunker Funtime. Hanzo, Falstad are very much backline DPSs. And they haven't shown their front line at all. So they will be able to kind of pick accordingly. And the Whitemane and Yrel. Whitemane is very interesting as a pick here. Also very long range character. Not a lot of damage obviously as a healer, but still able to get some poke out of this. But so much healing can come out from her in a game such as this. When it's something like poke, she's very good at dealing with it because she's able to target her heals and she's able to chain her heals across multiple allies. And now Deathwing and Anubarak picked up as the final 2 for Bunker Funtime, and that's their front line shown. And Alumini Bree, number 1 DPS last game, so we know the Deathwing can be played quite well. And Zednam on the Anubarak. Very solid engage. And Cocoon's very good into Yrel. Just being able to remove the Yrel, she's also very tanky as a character, so very solid front line from Bork Side of the Moon. But doesn't really matter if you cuckoo them, as the Lost Vikings being the final pick here. And doesn't matter if you have globals when they just have more characters than you. It's the 7 versus 5 in terms of how they're able to set up on the map. Obviously, those Vikings aren't 1-1 in terms of power with a regular hero. But if piloted well, especially on a large map like Alterac Pass, I'm really excited. I've yet to cast a Vikings game this season as we get into game number 2. Alright, and we have just loaded into game number 2 between Bork Side of the Moon and Bunker Funtime. Now, as I was saying before this series began, being able to get a domination here, especially for Bork Side of the Moon, really opens up their chances of playoffs. Getting that extra 3rd point can really help them out. There's still 2 games left for everyone for the rest of this season, for the rest of this until playoffs do begin. So getting the 3 points and then picking up 1 or 2 points in the next one should be enough to clinch them playoffs. It depends how the other teams do, because while they are winning the 3 points here, they're not taking it away from anyone in a playoff spot. Bunker Funtime is currently the last place team in Division B, or in B West, I should say. Now they're all grouping mid, except there's going to be Eric top, as I try to learn these names, Baylog, and Olaf. We do see the Impale landing onto Shadra. Just a little bit of poke going off towards both sides. Cutie Peppy trying to get as much work with Eric done as possible in the mid lane. But we'll run back top to help push it away. And we do see the burrow goes in. But now Zednam kind of chucked into the back line of the team. Dwarf Toss not going to land in the perfect spot. Will not be able to slow down. But now Shadra's kind of getting stuck. A lot of DPS going back and forth there. And Silver Spy will get demounted. Not a lot of pressure coming on there, as Olaf and Baylog are going to be running away. And I typically try to use the player names whenever I can, whenever I remember what they are, or when the situation calls for it. But I'm going to try using the Viking names here instead. Olaf and Baylog still just kind of hiding down there. Smoke is going to be the one catching this wave here. And Eric is going to go up top, just kind of fighting with Alumini Breed, trying to survive up there. However, Eric is going to be landing over onto this fort. Will get knocked away by Smoke, so James will not be able to use the Polymorph for anything excessive. Now the Siege Camp is taken down for both sides. Siege Camp is a little bit slower on Bork Side of the Moon, but not a big deal. They'll be able to clear it momentarily. And neither side has hit level 4 quite yet. They're all just kind of still playing, kind of still posturing, waiting for those objectives to spawn, waiting for a few of those levels, and just kind of poking away at each other, trying to find some weak points. And that's a good amount of hammering stacks, and it is going to be the hammerang build. We're not going to see the lightning rod or the auto attack build. Shader jumps over, not able to land the storm here. Hammer onto Dicello very closely, just slightly off to the side. They are able to deal a lot of damage, and Bacon actually gets picked off. Dicello and Batista able to bring out so much damage in such a short time frame. And they're able to play this pretty well. But right now, I have to say, Bunker Funtime having a much easier time with this map. Forgive me for saying this, but I don't think the Vikings are really bringing in much effort. We do see Baylog and Olaf not really doing anything on the top side. They are just standing there and struggling a little bit with the micros, Cutie Puppy. They're already been able to take this wall on the mid side. Is Shadra gonna get burrowed on top? Stormhammer lands on a Jane, but obviously no follow-up yet. Bacon trying to DPS, but they're focused more on just clearing away this wave right now. Batista using the Stormhammer, just trying, or the Hammerang, sorry. Trying to stack up as much as possible. If Batista's able to get a lot of stacks on this, you can blow a team up very quickly. And especially when there's the Vikings. The Vikings do not have a lot of health each. Olaf does, but Baylog and Eric have like no HP at all. So one good hammering will be able to get that kill. Both siege camps are once again started up, and started up earlier by Bunker Funtime. So they're kind of getting a little bit of a pacing lead over Bork's Side of the Moon. And they will get level 7 very soon. They do have a talent advantage for a little bit. Should be matched very soon. So I don't expect them to really gain any meaningful lead with this level 7. However, it is important to note that they are ahead in pace. They are ahead in XP. And this top wall is also dead. So just through regular map play, Aluminum Brie able to get so much damage onto this fort. Half HP already. Zednem and Daicello trying to press onto this camp too. They are able to clear it, but will they be able to cap it? Shadra trying to run away, will get impaled. So the play will be cut off short. Bacon already grouping up, just trying to get as much DPS as possible over here. And did go the Gambit to Credo the Hunter. So being killed there for the first blood is actually a pretty big deal. Loses 15% bonus attack speed. Or sorry, bonus damage. And now Shadra gonna get polymorphed. Not a lot of damage. But Smoke able to get onto the backline. 3-man stun onto Jamie, Daicello, and Zednem. They're all grouping together. Bacon trying to deal as much damage as possible with Warpaws. Gonna jump in. The phase shift will come out in time for Zednem. And the Impale will prevent the follow-up. But Smoke still able to run in. And Bacon able to get that first kill. And now Daicello in the middle of everyone. Not going to survive either. And Shadra keeps going. But no Stormhammer to catch onto Jamie. But that's still a 2-for-0 play there. But Bacon is running onto Jamie. The Stormhammer does land. And that should be another kill. 3 kill. And Batista now jumps into the middle of their team as well. Will get slowed down a little bit, but will be able to get away. But that's 3 unanswered kills now for Bork's Side of the Moon. Just able to fight better during the team fights. Doesn't look. They have been able to start this camp. 10 seconds left. Batista trying to delay, and they will be able to push them off of it. But that's still 22 seconds that they're able to get over onto this camp. Now, Aluminum Brie and Bacon, and really the entire side of Bunker Funtime already starting to push onto this camp. But Shadra not letting them cap it quite yet. They're trying so hard to cap this while the siege camp is going down. And they will eventually be able to finish it off. But in the meanwhile, we do see the Vikings pushing on the top side, pushing on the mid side. And the mid side fort's actually gone. Level 10s are now also hit. Shadra running in, really brave. Molten Flame going to be hit by Aluminum Brie. And they're just trying to delay as long as possible, trying to let their team group up. They do have level 10 advantage. And Eric's also here trying to deal a little bit of DPS. And they will be able to clear away the little bit of fire. Will prevent them from capping it back. But in the meanwhile, Eric does die in the back line. Olaf and Balog still alive. And they are in fact able to not only cap it, but also kill the healer. And Aluminum Brie now chasing onto Bacon. Able to get a lot of damage onto them. And the usage of the Deathwing as a zoning tool was incredible there. Was a little bit greedy by Bork's Side of the Moon, in my opinion, to go for that siege camp. They were able to get it, but the siege camp did not gain them any net benefit, and they did lose the riders because of it. I believe it's what they call the Horde Cavalry. And now they're going to start charging into this wave, and they're just going to be able to kill this fort, I expect. They do have a lot of minions. They have a lot of long-range damage as well. Cocoon thrown onto Bacon, but Dragon Strike going to go over it, but no damage done. Will be okay. So they can still pull HP, but they will be able to kill the fort because of it. Just kind of using it as an extra zoning tool. And the Emerald Wind able to push Shadra back. Will leave through the Dwarf Toss, and Jamie's just ever so low, but not enough damage. Bacon is still healing up, but not enough damage. Falstad will be able to get that extra kill, and now Bacon is dead again. Loses yet another stack on the Gambit. And so much pressure still coming out from this cavalry. They're now pushing onto this mid wall, the second wall. Topside, they lose their fort. They've lost their fort too. And even though their cavalry is dead, they're still pushing in a little bit more. They want to see how much damage they can get onto this keep. Daicello is just auto-attacking away in the backside. Oh, looks like they are done now, but that's still almost 20% of that keep dead just from the first objective. And the wall also taking a decent amount of damage on this top side. Their bot lane's okay. They lost the wall there, but they still have the wave. They still have the fort untouched, in fact. But level 13 is going to be coming out from Bunker Funtime soon as they get started onto this first boss. And this is a combo that I'm sure everyone knows on Alarak Pass. You kill the first boss, and then what do? You immediately run straight across the map to take the second boss. And I'm wondering if that's what Bunker Funtime is going to try to do here. it will force them to reply and have to fight this boss because the fort is still available here. It looks like they decide instead to fight with this boss, or at least that was my initial assumption, but nope, they're running away. Jamie's gonna stay a little bit here, but does have the phase shift to group with the team whenever needed. And now the players of Bork Side of the Moon, they need to kill this boss as soon as possible. But in the meanwhile, Zednam gonna try potentially to start on this boss. It is a little bit harder with the Vikings, and they do have the natural push happening mid. Cutie Puppy just trying to get as much damage done with Eric onto Alamini Bree. But sadly not going to be enough. And in the meanwhile, this top boss is being started. And no answer here is going to come out from Bork Side of the Moon. They will try to answer with his bot wave, but I think this top boss will be able to get even more pressure. They are going to have to send members back to deal with it. Maybe their thought process is they want to be able to take this fort and then reset. But Batista already coming back with the flight, and actually is going to get stunned upon immediately. Going to have to use the barrel to get away. But now Alamini Bree just going to fly all over them. Get so much damage to them. The stun not going to land on anyone else. Impale and Burrow charge both miss. But that's still good for them. Even if they're not able to get the kill, they save their fort. And the boss is still going to be hitting onto their wall, onto their keep even. Now, a little bit of fighting is happening mid. Jamie takes the Stormhammer for his troubles. And they're just kind of being ran around this map. There's so much for them to try and do. They're not able to keep up with this pressure the Bunker Funtime are able to apply. This global composition, I asked earlier, are they going to be able to utilize it? Are they going to be able to use this pressure to formulate advantages? And so far, the answer is a strong, resounding yes. The Bunker Funtime really using that false stat and the Bright Wing to maintain pressure on all sides of the map. And I don't really see the Vikings really helping them out that much right now. Impale will go off slightly to the side, but now Zidneem gonna get hit with the Stormhammer. Bacon jumps in. We do see the Dragon Strike happening in the backside, and there is a Flame Breath going all on top of the Cocoon, but the Bacon is still in the Cocoon, not taking any damage. And now Jamie caught in the middle of everyone, and they are able to get the kill. The fear will come out from Alamini Bree. We'll try to continue with these stuns. They were able to finish off the cavalry yet again, but will lose their healer in the process, so it will be a bit of a more difficult push for them. In the meanwhile, Eric was able to finish off the bot lane fort. And now the question will be, will they be able to finish off the... will the side of Bunker Funtime be able to even out the bot side fort so that they can continue having this map pressure dominance? Eric does get killed on the bot side, but we will all miss him. 35 seconds on Eric to respawn, as Baylog and Olaf also getting chased by in this top side. But they're not interested in this top side. They want to defend this bot side, and they do get a stun onto Zednam. And Zednam just getting it blown up. A lot of damage coming in from them, and I don't think they expected that rotation. It is a strange rotation because of that. Alamini Bree and this camp are able to deal so much damage to this top lane keep, and they lose the mid lane push in the process. Now the Vikings are trying to deal damage. Bacon also going to spawn here, and they're just running down the Deathwing. They're not going to be able to run it down completely. Trying to keep that alive. Jamie gets caught a little bit, but the Dragon Strike going through, kind of zoning it into two halves. But how much damage are they going to be able to deal? Alamini Bree trying to get away, but no, will not be able to. Too much damage coming out from Smoke, Cutie Puppy, and Bacon. And now Jamie also getting chased down. Sorry, I thought Jamie got away. But does not seem like that was the plan for Bork Side of the Moon, as they are able to finish off two. And now they're going to try pushing over onto this wall as well. They will take down this cannon tower and this gate, and likely the other cannon tower, as Eric is helping with this bot lane push. Flight coming in from Batista, as he did go the Hinterland Blast. We have seen a few casts of it, but no resets yet. We haven't really seen a lot of value coming out from a Hinterland Blast. I am a little bit surprised. I do think Gust is better in pretty much every single situation, except we have a low damage comp. But their composition has more than enough damage. The Deathwing is able to provide anything that is missing from the inconsistency of not having a standard ranged DPS, like a standard auto attacking DPS. A Shadra just running in to the enemy, not going to get hit or anything, except for that Hammerang coming out. 86 stacks now on Batista. They're grouping over towards this mid lane. They are going to be able to clear out the siege camp. And Bork Side of the Moon are going to get started on their own siege camp. The camps are going to be spawning in 5 seconds. And let's see if Bunker Funtime are going to be able to just brute force their way in for a third one. But they're not interested in the camp. The boss has respawned, and they are going to be grouping up towards it. And they do start it immediately. The top one hasn't even respawned yet. Will respawn in 20 seconds. But they're too busy pushing out the mid lane. And I do think Shadra is calling this out, but they're not going to be able to get there in time. Shadra will see it go down, but the cocoon also lands. And are they going to try to do a follow-up fight after this? They do land with the Dragon Strike coming through and the Polymorph. Emerald Wind going to knock him away, but Silver Smite taking so much damage in the backline. Shadra is going to be able to get that stun onto Zayda. And now Bacon taking so much DPS, and they just have to run. They are not able to fight this. With the boss there and all of the damage, Eric taking a few auto attacks, and in fact, they will be able to just brute force this camp. Smoke and Bacon will need to stay here to just kill this boss. The two of them have to be here. They need that DPS. Shadra trying to delay as long as possible, but won't be able to really do it. It is a 50-second, so they will have more time than normal. That boss already pretty much dead. Shadra still pretty healthy, a bit over half HP, and is just trying to buy as much time as possible. Zednam gonna get hit with the Stormhammer. And we do see Smoke still shoving out the bot wave. Alumini Brie kind of in the middle of the team. Cutie Puppy and all the Vikings actually are now here. And they're able to get the stun onto Batista. And Batista actually taken really low. Phase Shift gonna have to be used onto that. But now Alumini Brie also gonna get run down in the middle of that. Shadra able to continue jumping in. They're able to hit onto Zednam. Dragon Strike coming through onto Smoke. But Smoke doesn't care. Smoke is tanky. And they're able to get the stun on Dicello. And Dicello very low. Will also have to run. And that's the power of the Vikings. Once you group the 3 Vikings together, you're able to provide so much damage. But they're going to continue chasing. Bacon running down Jamie in the stasis, but not enough. And in fact, Zednam also runs in and just kind of dies for free. You will always take that on the side of Bork Side of the Moon, as Cutie Puppy is also going to start taking the camp. 39 seconds, though. So most players will be available in time for that. And Shader taking a lot of damage. Forced to pop the Avatar just to be safe. And as Bacon finishes off that cannon tower. Cutie Puppy gonna be grouping up in the mid wave, just making sure the wave is shoved in and that they're able to get that fort once all of the cavalry does spawn. And just like that, they're able to get themselves a lead with just a couple small mistakes, chaining one after the other for Bunker Funtime. But they are capitalizing hard on this for Bork Side of the Moon. They're getting a lot of damage onto this fort, gonna try and clear out this wave as well. And all 3 waves are pushing in their favor right now. The wave setup has been really good for this play for Bork Side of the Moon. Alumini Brie trying to clear out the minions, but Smoke and Shader not going to let him. Dragon Strike utilized. Dicello, unfortunately, will take most of his health. Phase Shift will have to come out. But Dicello will be okay overall. Batista walking a little bit close. Stormhammer, Dwarf Toss not going to land. The Emerald Wind will be used, but Smoke now jumping into the enemy as well. They did Cocoon the healer, but no one really cares. Shadra clearing it out right now. Smoke does get run down, but in the meanwhile, their tank just kind of gets blown up. Hinterland Blast hits onto no one. Dragon Strike coming through again, but once again, no one standing in it. Alumini Brie gonna be run down. They do have a stun onto Jamie, and Jamie gonna get stunned once again into the enemy team, and the Cutie Puppy on the Vikings able to finish this off, and this might be game. I'd even say this probably is game. Smoke will take so much damage from Batista and Dicello. They do have multiple cavalry members all across this map. They will clear out this mid keep as well. This core is stronger the more keeps are alive. And while they are pushing down, and they are able to get onto Dicello, and Dicello also blows up, so this should be game. Top keep likely will go down, but does not matter, as Bork Side of the Moon will be able to get that domination and will be able to keep their playoff dreams alive as they head into this next series with a domination. And that is definitely one way to end the series. Bork Side of the Moon, 2-0 now. to end the series. They will get the domination, and they played so well. Now, I'll be honest, Cutie Puppies on the Lost Vikings, I was a doubter. At the start, I did not think that the Vikings were worth picking. But once they got into those mid to late game team fights, Cutie Puppy was able to land the important stunts, was able to pick off Jamie, was able to pick off Batista and Dicello multiple times in those fights. And when when the rest of the team was able to follow up on that, Bacon 62,000 damage. Like, let's look at the DPS for the side of Bork Side of the Moon. 21k on a Muradin, 25k on a Cutie Puppy, and then 63 onto Bacon. Bacon was able to bring out so much DPS for the squad. But anyway, that is everything from me for tonight. I will be live again tomorrow. We'll be doing another double cast. Gonna be doing B East, Protectors of Ayer versus Leoric Jenkins. And then Division E, Unleash the Kraken versus Rooster Pizza WBP. So if you're interested in watching any of those games, be sure to leave a follow. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. And have a good night.